in 1949, George Sisler, a man who knew a thing or two about hitting in his own day, helped you as the Dodgers batting coach. What advice, and shortly thereafter your offensive production really took off, was there something that George taught you or was able to share with you that made a difference?
I think George Sisler was a very quiet man. He wasn't a real outgoing person. He didn't force himself upon you. He would sit back and watch, and with his soft-spoken way, he would make suggestions to you in the batting cage. And he taught me my strike zone. He taught me how to size up a pitch, how to wait on a breaking ball, and hit it to left center field, being a left-handed hitter. Wait on it long enough to be able to hit the ball a pretty good distance to left center field. And all in all, he just taught me the fundamentals of hitting, which I had a good swing, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I'd swing at balls above my head and in the dirt and everything else, and I gave the pitcher too many chances to get me out. And as a result, he made me a polished hitter to where I started eventually getting close to 100 walks every year. I didn't go up there looking for a walk, but I became more selective and became a major league hitter.
One of the events that you talk about as a key early in your career, second game of the Memorial Day doubleheader in 1950, 3 home runs and very nearly a fourth. What do you recall about that day and how that impacted the rest of your career?
Well, I don't think it impacted the rest of my career much, but I know I went 0 for 5 in the morning game. We had a doubleheader that day, a morning and afternoon game, and I didn't hit a ball hard in the morning. I guess I'm not a morning player, morning person, but I went inside and had a donut and a glass of milk and went out and hit 3 straight home runs, and the 4th ball I hit the top of the screen, about a foot from the top of the screen. It was the hardest ball I hit all day, but it didn't go out of the ballpark, and I just got a double on it. And it was a memorable day. It was on Memorial Day, I believe, that year, and basically it was a stepping stone towards becoming a solid major league hitter.
In the 1950s, you couldn't be a baseball fan in New York or probably anywhere without the debate raging, who's the best center fielder, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. You led that trio when you guys were simultaneously starting in your careers in home runs and RBI. What were your thoughts of playing in the same town with those two and of the Willie, Mickey, and the Duke debate?
I think that was more of a media hype than anything. All 3 of us were having decent years, good years, and they started comparing the numbers. And I'm not a numbers person. I was more a team person. Basically, Branch Rickey taught us at one of his lectures that he said, don't think about your individual numbers. Think about where you are in the standings. If the team's name is on the top of the list, you're all having decent years, and if you win the pennant, your numbers are going to be there, so don't worry about them. So we really concentrated more on winning a ball game than we did individual numbers or individual statistics. So basically, it was a good education from Mr. Rickey. I'm not belittling the Mantle, Mays, and myself comparisons. That it was good for baseball, and in my estimation, there was one other center fielder they eliminated, and that was Joe DiMaggio. I thought he was the greatest.
When you talk about the teams, you mentioned that even though you guys always faced the Yankees in the World Series, it was the Giants that you really wanted to beat.
Well, we played them a lot more games. We played the Giants 22 times each year, and basically we had to beat them usually to win a pennant. And a couple of times they nosed us out in 51, and they beat us in 54. We finished second. But they were the team and the crosstown rivals, so to speak. And we played the Yankees in the World Series, and we were We weren't able to beat them until 1955, but basically the Giants were the team we had to beat in order to get to the World Series and play the Yankees.
Your teammate and friend Carl Erskine once called you the perfect player for your time and place. What does that statement mean looking back on baseball and your career?
Well, Carl has a way of expressing himself. I was very fortunate to be on the team that I was on because we had a team of all-stars. We had a team of really great guys. We were a team. And I know that sometimes the word family is overused in the professional sports, but we were a family. We got along with each other. We played together. We sacrificed our own individual numbers to win baseball games, and there was no professional jealousy on our ball club.
Where did that originate?
I think it was just installed by Branch Rickey. He was way before his time, really. Branch Rickey today probably would be turning over in his grave with the salaries and the way money's being given away to some of the participants. But Branch Rickey was a great student of the game, and he had a vision. He could look at you as an 18-year-old and picture you as a 25-year-old in growth and ability. And he knew just exactly what you needed to work on, and he would work with you on your weaknesses to make you a proven, polished Major League ball player.
Doing okay? About halfway through. From 1949 to 56, you appeared in 6 World Series with the Dodgers, including the very big win in 55. What one thing did that victory represent for you and your team?
I think it proved to everyone what we already knew, that we were just as good as the Yankees. Not any better, but we were just as good as the Yankees were. They won the odd game quite a few years there in the World Series, but we won in 55 and got beat the following year in 7 games. So when it got to the 7th game, why, it was who the best team was that day. It wasn't particularly who the best team was overall. And the Yankees had a great ball club and a great bunch of guys. But I don't think they were any better than we were. I don't think we were any better than they were. But I think we were an equal to the Yankees.
Who were your favorites on that team to watch? Not that you would have a favorite on your chief competition, but guys, performances that you recall standing out?
Well, you always enjoyed watching Mickey Mantle play baseball because he had such tremendous ability. He had physical injuries, and there's no telling what kind of numbers he would have had he not had his physical problems. But Mickey was a great guy and a good friend. And I used to enjoy watching him hit and talk to him the next day about an at-bat or something like that. And Mickey and I, Mickey was very open. He would tell you a story now and then about something that happened on the ball club, like the day Erskine struck out 14, and Johnny Mize was ridiculing everybody for striking out so many times against Carl Erskine, and I think Mantle went down 4 times that day, and he said he was happy that he didn't get up that 5th time, or he'd have set a record of 5. But and just, you know, laughing and joking about it. Mickey was just a super guy to be around. Yogi was still is a fun guy to be around. They had a bunch of really outstanding guys that pressure didn't seem to bother them too much. They just they knew they were good, and they went out and showed everybody they were good.
That 55 years started very strong for not only you, but the entire Dodger team, winning something like 22 out of 24. And you, at one point, I think, had 38 home runs through August. There was maybe some Ruth record talk. Did you think that year was going to be different?
Well, we knew after the '54 season that we had to go down to spring training and improve ourselves, because The Giants won the pennant by about 5 or 6 games in '54. And we went down, worked hard, and got in condition to go out and beat the Giants. And we did get off to a tremendous start. 22-2 is quite a start. And everybody participated. It was a team 22-2. And Newcomb was 10-0, I think, at the start of the season. Campanella was hitting clutch home runs and doing everything that he normally did. And just everybody contributed to that great start. We knew that we couldn't take anything for granted, that 22-2, if we played 500 ball the rest of the way, chances are we'd win the pennant. But we had lost previous pennants, and in '51 especially, when we had a 13-game lead in August and got beat. So we cinched the pennant September 8th, I believe, the earliest it's ever been cinched in the National League. And then we sort of relaxed for a week or so. Bev was home in California, pregnant with our 3rd child, and I took 3 days off on a Western trip and flew home and spent a few days with her, and then flew back and joined the team in St. Louis before we went back to Brooklyn. And then about a week and a half or so before the World Series was about to take place, why, then we played every day and got ready to go out and try and beat the Yankees, and we did. And the Yankees were injured that year. Mantle was hurt and what have you, and that helped us. But we took it to them and beat them. Johnny Padres shut them out the final game, and to me that's still the most exciting end of a season that we've had when Johnny shut them out 2-0.